Sister, you don't got any questions?
I do not.
I know you say you just really wanted to listen. But in order to listen, you know, we try to dialogue just so you can see where your understanding is.
I understand.
Because, like I said, what's your nationality?
As I said before, thank you, Mr.
Okay, what's your nationality? African American? I'm not gonna. If you gonna sit here, if you sitting in front of me, that gives me the right to answer the question.
You can do what you wish.
What is your nationality?
As I said,
So you saying you're African American? African? Where you from? Where you from? See, that's very rude of you. But you're trying to come courteous, but no, that's very rude. If you come in somebody's face and just...
If you ask,
is this rude if I just come here and just sit here and go?
I'm not in your face.
You are. You're on our platform. No, this is all our face. We're in the church right now, and I'm asking you a question.
Amen.
See how that is very rude. That's what that's called. That's not constructive at all. Because you're not learning, because I can't even dialect with you to even know what you don't know or what you do know.
Right, but because you got to get my permission before you ask.
I don't have to have no permission to ask nobody a question. Where is that written at, sis? Nowhere. You don't have to have permission to ask the teacher a question. You just raise your hands and ask a question. You don't have to have permission. Sis, that is not, you never heard that anywhere.
I have to sign up to go to school.
Sister, what that got to do with anything?
That's the point. Put it together.
What they got to, when you at work and your boss asks you a question, I guess he got to get permission to ask you a question. See how stupid you sound? Because you're making us up to make it fit you. And because I'm trying, we were trying to be cool with you. I'm not fighting with you. I just asked you a simple question.
You called me stupid.
I said, yeah. I'm saying, no. Your actions, what you're doing is stupid.
Right.
I'm telling you that stupid. I'm not calling you stupid, but what you are doing.
Right. If we recorded that, you would have.
We are recording. It's right there.
Then listen to it.
And exactly. And we have women that come up and no.
I just wanted to read your signs and just.
No, with a sign, they number 3. You read them a long time ago.
I read this one.
And they know writing on them.
Right.
First Maccabees, I'll read it for you. First Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the books of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of the images, which is meaning what they did with our book. They stole our history book and took out the description of this Bible, which Yahweh was a black man, and they painted him this color on this one. This is the devil. This image is not biblical. Meaning the same thing that we seeing over here. Give me Revelation 1:14. We'll show you all that stuff. Jesus is a Negro, not a white man. Jesus, and that's in Spanish, saying the same thing. Revelation 1:13, which is what he's going to get. Daniel 10:5, give me Daniel 10:5. Jeremiah 14:2, and on hold Jeremiah 14:2. Isaiah 29:22, we're going to do all those. Give me that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, chapter 14.
13, start at 13.
Chapter 1, verse 13.
First, give me 1 and 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent a...
Now go down, though. No, go down 13 to 14.
Verse 13.
The Bible said this is the revelation. This is the revealing of Christ. This is what it's saying. Because they told us this is Christ. Christ is a white man, long blonde, brownish hair with blue eyes. The Bible is totally opposite of that. It tells us totally something different. The Bible saying this. This is right here. This is John on the island of Patmos when he was in the penitentiary, in prison. And he's going to give you the description. When the angel came to him, he gave him a description of Christ. And this is the description that he had got. And he's telling, I'm going to reveal to you what Yahweh Jesus looked like. Read.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks,
get what I said.
One like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
So he had a garment on, a long garment. We got garments also we wear. The same kind of garments he's describing, we got them. They go down, when they bottom them, they got fringes on. He had a belt, a garter belt that went across him, across his thing, a gold one, which is just like black people do. We love gold. Gold looks good on us. It looked good on Yahweh because he was of us. Read.
Verse 14, his hand and
were white like wool. That's like my hair. My hair did not go gray, which is what they call this. My hair went from black to white. This is what happened to us. His was all over at 33 years old, meaning he had the stress of the world on his shoulders to have a whole head full of hair and face full of white hairs. Read.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Go back and talk about his hairs. I skipped the point. I want to get this point across also.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
His head and his hair, the hair on his head and hair on his face were white like wool. That white as meaning the color and the texture is wool. We, blacks, Hispanics, well, of that descent, of Negro descent, they got woolly hair. We got woolly hair. Sister, you have woolly hair. That's what we are. Same thing Christ had. Read.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass.
He had eyes as a flame of fire. Yahushua drank wine in moderation, had red eyes. It was prophesied he was going to have red eyes. Give me Genesis 49 and 12. Go ahead.
The book of,
You got it?
book of Genesis, chapter 49.
Let's see here.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49, and verse 12.
Bring it out.
His eyes shall be red with wine.
He said his eyes. This is the prophecy of the Yahushua or the Christ coming in the future prophecy. He said his eyes shall be red with wine. Because Jews is what we do. We drink wine. Guess what happens with a black man as soon as he drinks a little bit of wine? Guess what happens? His eyes turn red. Guess what? Yahushua, which y'all call Christ, y'all call Jesus, his eyes turn red because he drank wine in moderation. It is not against the biblical law for men to drink wine. We just not supposed to get drunk off of this stuff. Read. Now we're going to go back. Now we know from prophecy he's going to have red eyes. But not red as in just red because they red, but no, red because they red with wine. Just like our eyes get. When we drink, we get red eyes. Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet like unto fine brass. The old ancient brass, which they have no more, is a dark brown color. His feet, just like everybody else's feet, are the same color as the rest of your body. Sometimes they get lighter, where his wasn't because they wore sandals. Ours only lighter because we always putting shoes over the top of them.
Right.
But other than that, he had a dark brown feet. So his body is also a dark brown color. Read. Which means that this is the wrong picture. We were lied to. This is what they showed us. This is what they gave us. They gave us this picture. This guy with blonde hair, blue eyes.
That's right.
The description I'm reading now, this is not Jesus, but this is a better description of what we're reading right now. Would you say this is a better description? Red eyes, dark hair, dark skin color, bronze. Read. Let's go see. I'm going to show you just how black he was. Because he wasn't just no ordinary black. He wasn't just ordinary black. He wasn't no light-skinned brother. Let's see how dark he was. Because bronze is already a dark brown color. Read.
As if he burned in a furnace.
Oh my goodness. If you put anything in a furnace and burn it, is it going to get lighter or is it going to get darker? Yahushua was darker than Wesley Snipes.
That's right. Bring it out. Bring it out.
But they gave us this picture though. See, but they didn't tell us who this was. Because when people see, a lot of them going to get up in the morning, they're going to go to church. In a lot of churches, because sometimes in a grandmama house, guess what? Grandmama still have this on the wall.
That's right.
Bring it out.
She has that in her house. This same white Jesus is in her house. And that same Jesus, what so-called Jesus, he has a name called Caesar Borgia.
That's right. Let them know.
This man was a rapist, a murderer. a homosexual pedophilia. This man was nasty. In fact, Da Vinci was his good buddy. Da Vinci, the one when they they painted him. They painted him. Whoever won the contest, and this was his boyfriend. Of course, his boyfriend won. His boyfriend painted this picture.
That's right.
These were homosexuals who painted these pictures. And now they got the world worshiping it. They lied because the fact of the matter is, this was our history book that they stole.
That's right.
This was our history book. Better yet, open up your Apocrypha. And we're going to go to this scripture right here. First Maccabees 3 and 48.
Bring it out.
Because, let me show y'all something. Taken out of the Bible. It's called the Apocrypha. In Hebrew, that means hidden books. When they took this out in the 1600s, they took this out for a reason. This is in the original King James Version of the Bible. It's a total of 80 books that was in the original Bible, 1611 King James Bible. They took this out, one, because it reveals a nationality with a name. Two, it describes in chapters about this fake dude right here. It also tells us about the Native Americans who came over here, the Native Indians who was already here. It tells us that they were our brothers. And we're supposed to love them just like we're supposed to be loving each other. But we got to love each other first before we can even go start loving on our other neighbors, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, not the rest of the world. So now, go open that up. Go to 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. Let's read that.
Bring it out.
You got it? Read.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen.
They opened the book of the law. See, go to your Apocrypha. You got your Apocrypha? I want you to get Baruch 4 and 1. Yes, sir. You hold what you got. Stay right there. And you open up Baruch 4 and 1. And I want to get this out because it's going to explain this before we get there. But hold on, before you go, start back over. Let's read this.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law.
Okay, and laid open the book of the law. See, everybody think the Bible was this all spiritual, it's a book of religion. God never gave us religion. What y'all are going by when y'all go to Sunday morning churches, that's religion. Islam is religion. Buddhism is a religion. Hinduism is a religion. Those are religions. Those means, and that comes from a Greek word meaning religio, meaning also to control you.
That's right. Break it out,
They control you with religion, but see, God didn't never give us religion because it don't talk about in this Bible about no religion that He's given us. But what He did give us is this. Read.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
What?
This is the book of the commandments of God.
Read.
And the law that endureth forever.
The Bible is the book of commandments and laws of God. That's what it's about. He didn't give us religion. Just like when you come to America, what do they give you? They give you a government. They give you laws and say, follow these laws. Well, your God has done the same thing because He created us as a nation of people. That's the nation of Israel. And when He put us in our land, He gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to go by. Because in order to run a successful nation, you have to have a what? A body of laws.
That's right.
And that's what God gave us, a body of laws to go by. He didn't say go by religion, because y'all gonna get up Sunday morning. Some of y'all gonna be Baptist in the morning. Some of y'all gonna be Methodist in the morning. Some of y'all gonna be Pentecostal in the morning. And none of that is in the Bible.
That's right.
None of that is in the Bible, because God didn't call us to be none of that. God called Israel.
That's
From
right.
the tribe of Judah is where I'm from. We got Zebulon here. We got Issachar that's passing through here. There's 12 tribes that God called. And those are the only tribes that this Bible is talking about.
That's right.
Because they're in the world with this white Jesus and this hypocrite, it teaches that the Bible is for everybody.
That's right.
And God loves everybody. But we can clearly get in this Bible and show God does not
That's right.
at all.
That's right. Bring it out.
At all. Better yet, give me Joel 2:27. You finish reading that.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen,
The who?
the heathen,
The so-called white man,
the heathen,
the African,
the heathen,
and everybody else that's not on this 12 tribes chart, that's not of the children of Israel. Those are called heathens. They all got together when they stole our book, and guess what they did? They infiltrated in every manner of that they could. Read.
wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Oh, now they went in there, and y'all watch these movies, y'all see Moses on TV, and they got him white. The Egyptians, they even made the Egyptians white. Sitting dead in the middle, and sitting dead in North Africa, just black as all outdoors, pictures all on the wall with them and everything, and they still say they white. So-called white. And then they made what? They made who was that? Abraham, Noah. Look at their movies. They got all of them, and not one of them they got them black. Because if you put a black one up there, they're gonna be like, boy, that's blasphemy. No, that's the truth. What you've been teaching is blasphemies, wicked lies. That's what they do to us. Read that. Are you finished with that? Is that enough for that? Go ahead, give me Joel 2:27.
The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
And that I am in the midst of who?
Of Israel.
Battle waxing.
Of Israel.
Battle waxing.
Of Israel.
He said, you should know that I am in the midst of Israel. Israel is the 12 tribes, the sons of Jacob.
That's right.
The 12 sons of Jacob, which make up the nation of Israel. He said, I am in the midst of Israel. Read.
And that I am the Lord your God.
I am the Lord your God. Your is a possessive pronoun. That's something that's possessive. God is being possessive in this right here. He said, I'm the Lord your God. Not everybody, God. Your God. Read.
And none else.
Oh, no, some people.
And none else.
The whole world.
And none else.
And the Bible said, he said, I'm only your God and none else. See, tomorrow Sunday, they ain't gonna, I promise